And there I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. Trump's coming for you. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Donald Trump, he's coming for you. You might remember that I did a series about the top 20 threats to this one's wife, and that Donald was up there, fairly highly ranked, and I explained why that was. Well, that prediction looks like it is going to come true. Hannah Furness writes in The Telegraph, in 2016, a little-known actress called This One's Wife told a US chat show that the prospect of President Trump left her thinking, I might just stay in Canada. Smearing. Naturally, there will be many people who say, oh, if only that were the case. 2 months later, she went on a blind date with Prince Harry. 3 months after that, Donald Trump received 62 million votes to become the 45th President of the United States. The events between now and then almost defy belief. This one's wife moved to the United Kingdom and married Harry before fleeing for Canada and then California, assertion of control through withdrawal, with her royal husband, swapping state duties for the bright lights of streaming deals and award shows. Trump's unconventional 4 years in office saw him fire off upwards of 26,000 tweets, assertion of control through social media, appoint Supreme Court judges who went on to overturn Roe versus Wade, and be impeached not once, but twice, threat to control. Against the odds, he now appears to be firmly on track to be the Republican candidate for this year's US election, taking on Joe Biden for what current polling suggests could be an extraordinary return to the leadership of the free world. He's dominating the Republican primary race. The candidate preference polling puts him on 79.3%, Nikki Haley at just 16.1%. And he's enjoyed a surge in the last couple of weeks in that support. On the campaign trail this weekend, things seem to come full circle, with an unexpected dire warning for the Duke of Sussex. Prince Harry will be on his own under his presidency, Trump warned, speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, near Washington, D.C. I wouldn't protect him, he said. He betrayed the Queen. That's unforgivable. He would be on his own if it was down to me. Denigration of Harry, and by extension this one's wife, which of course threatens her control, with the criticism being made of her husband, who's an extension of her, and of course Trump demonstrating his usual belligerent, albeit accurate, credentials. Of the Biden's approach to the Sussexes, he added, I think they have been too gracious to him after what he has done. The what he has done part was interpreted as relating to the royal family, the too gracious part apparently referring to the Biden administration's role in an ongoing court case about Prince Harry's visa. In that case, brought by conservative think tank the Heritage Foundation, lawyers are seeking the publication of Prince Harry's immigration form, arguing he should not have legally entered America because he admitted to taking drugs in his memoir, Spare. A lawyer for the Biden administration rejecting the calls for records to be released told the court in Washington the book was not proof it had taken place. The Duke of Sussex, meanwhile, told US Breakfast TV he has considered applying for full American citizenship. Not a high priority, he said, but the thought had crossed my mind, alongside where is the green crayon and who's got my building blocks at the moment. Trump's latest intervention may make him wish he had never bothered. Should a future President Trump wish to prove a nuisance to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, there is little doubt he could do so. Harry could be in deep shit, one US-based journalist speculates. His life could get very unpleasant should Trump decide he wants to follow through with this. One renowned American lecturer on US constitutional history concurs. The powers of the president are very formidable, he says, adding that he is sure Trump will utilize them. Although the exact way in which he would do this he cannot predict. Indeed, if this one's wife and Harry come up on President Trump's radar, should he be re-elected, and there's a good possibility that he will, then of course they have the potential to threaten control. They're painted black. She's painted black by virtue of the comments that she made about Trump in the past. He's painted black because of the way that he has behaved, something that President Trump disapproves of. Therefore, there is an opportunity for him to squash these two bugs in order to assert control over them. Trump has already said he would not pay for Sussex's security protection. Therefore, that would be a residual benefit that wouldn't be afforded to them. The couple, through a representative, have said they've no intention to ask the US to foot the bill anyway. Although we all know that if they thought they could get away with it, they would do. After all, the narcissist is such a lover of other people's money. Trump could technically interfere in a visa process, is his thought. Danielle Vinson, politics professor at Furman University in South Carolina, says a president can order a visa to be revoked or denied, although this is normally done in the context of diplomatic disputes rather than personal grudges. Meanwhile, Christy Hufford Jackson, head of the US immigration practice at law firm Laura Devine Immigration, says Prince Harry's tales of drug use in Spare do not reach a level of admission that could affect his visa status. Could Trump say, "I want you to look into his previous application"? I don't think he would have grounds to do so here, she says, but could a president push buttons below and put pressure on a government agency which reports to him to get it re-examined? Potentially. The problem is that this is completely uncharted territory. The difficulty with Donald Trump, the very thing that delights his fans and confounds his detractors, is that there is no real saying whether he will abide by the conventions of the US government, which of course is typical of him as his status as an upper lesser type B. It's his way or no way. You do what he wants, otherwise you're out. I'm big, you're small. I'm strong, you're weak. I'm the president, you're not. If there are limitations to his power, will he stick to them? Or will he view Nixon's enemies list less as a cautionary tale and more as inspiration? All of this presents a problem for the royal family. It is the king's duty, after all, to welcome overseas presidents and prime ministers. And if the Foreign Office wants to invite a future President Trump to the UK, Charles will have to host him graciously. And I don't see that that would be any problem whatsoever. Charles will do what matters to him. Even if his son has been given a kicking and his daughter-in-law has been given a kicking by the Donald, Charles will still look out for himself and would welcome such a visit. It would make him look good. And of course, he would recognise that his son and his daughter-in-law deserve the kicking as a consequence of their conduct. It's about time somebody gave it to them. And what about the Sussexes? They have steered clear of politics in the new reign so far, but historically they have not shined away from it. And sources say they have wound up Donald Trump, who views himself as a friend and devoted admirer of the late Queen Elizabeth II, no end. In 2020, both Sussexes joined a voting drive for what this one's wife called the most important election of our lifetime. "I'm not a fan of hers," said Trump in response, nullification of threat to control. In the same year, Prince Harry got caught out by a prank call from a comedian pretended to be Greta Thunberg and was recorded saying that Trump's pushing of the coal industry left him with blood on his hands. Once again, the Sussexes demonstrating their eco-hypocrisies. Some argue that a feud with Trump is the last thing the Sussexes want. In theory, the high-profile hassle could drive them out of America, either to their beloved Canada or, to the horror or delight of those who have followed their story, back to Britain. The combination of a belligerent president and a father undergoing cancer treatment at home might nudge them into swapping their Montecito mansion for a British country retreat. But in reality, they will not want to do either, Prince Harry has spoken of his happiness in California, although, as I've pointed out before, that's all part of this one's wife facade management. His wife is in her homeland, and his children are being brought up just as he hoped. The fact is that Donald Trump is likely to give the Sussexes a hard time should they come up on his radar. He doesn't like them for the reasons that I have explained, and he will not shirk from an opportunity to deal with them because of the criticisms that this one's wife has put about Donald Trump in the past. He will bring those up as justification. And, of course, she represents many of the political aspects of life in the United States that they're antithesis of what Donald Trump stands for. He's made it clear that he would make life difficult for Harry, and by extension this one's wife. It remains to be seen, should he be elected, when that will start. But his place in that top 20 of those that could cause trouble for this one's wife is well deserved, and is not going to go away. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.